Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Toysrus exclusive A-Force 6-pack She-Hulk. That's a mouthful, and unfortunately this figure is by far the worst of the bunch. It's very disappointing because it is She-Hulk and we still haven't quite gotten the She-Hulk figure that we need. So, I don't know. I mean, this will fill a spot in your collection, but you'll have to see as we go through the review. It's pretty disappointing on just about every level, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 7¼ inches tall to the very top of her head, which makes her just about a little shy of 18½ centimeters. So I take it back. There is one good thing about this figure. Actually, there's two. The first is that its size is acceptable. It's acceptably tall and big for She-Hulk, so that's a good thing. The second thing that's good about this figure, okay, there are three. I'll be honest, there are three things that are good about this figure, and I promise I'm going to stop there. The head looks pretty good. I think they did a good job with the sculpt. I think the paint on the face is pretty clean. I mean, it is. It's a really solid head sculpt. The paints are good. The hair is shaded nicely, so I am very pleased with that. In fact, if we could just stop the review right here, look at that. That is a really, really nice She-Hulk figure. Oh no, there's the rest of it. It's not so great. It's pretty disappointing. I'll talk about the third good thing about this figure, and that is that the white spots on the arms and legs are actually molded in white. That's always very nice because we don't have to worry about any paint issues. So as you can see, there's no green coming through any of the white. It's super clean other than a few specks here and there from, you know, just spots on it or whatever. It's very nice looking. That's a great thing. Normally they don't do that, so it's a huge bonus. Unfortunately, the rest of the figure just goes downhill. The rest of it is either okay or bad. So let's go ahead and run through it. As far as articulation goes, we don't have anything but a ball peg for the neck, which isn't terrible. I mean, we can live with that, but it does limit the posability to some extent. It's mostly just going to give you a swivel. You can lean it a little bit, but not very much, so it's essentially just a swivel. The shoulders are ball hinges, so that's a good thing. You get good range out of them, no problems there. They rotate just fine, but I don't know if you guys noticed, as I'm trying to move it, it's kind of just almost ready to fall apart. The shoulder to bicep connection, the joint there is just not good. Not only is the bicep area really ugly, it's just poorly sculpted. I mean, it almost looks like it's sculpted backwards. And I might have said that before. You know what? I think I did. I remember maybe kind of on that red She-Hulk saying the arms were backwards. And it's hard to say if they are or not because the sculpts are just so generic looking. This could be part of the I can't think of the name right now, that muscle group on the outside, or it could just be a weird sculpt for the inside, but there's no definition here, so I'm leaning towards saying the biceps are on the wrong sides yet again. And it's still just a weird sculpt, and as you can see, the arm just wants to fall right off of that peg, even though it can't actually come off. Really, really bad design. Single jointed elbows, which give you decent enough range, but wait, that arm's backwards. Let's flip it this way. Nope, it's still wrong, so I don't know what's up with the sculpt on this thing. It's just weird. Maybe this is even another one of... Is it the wrong arm? Do I have the wrong arm? I don't know, because the sculpts are so weird. I can't tell you. The left arm just seems weird. The right arm seems a little bit better. Still a little weird, though. You can notice, though, at the elbow joint, it's splitting right there, and it's doing the same thing on this side. So I don't know what would cause that other than just poor fitment, maybe bad plastic, but the joints are splitting, and you can see the white paint coming through, so that's not great. The wrist joint is your standard wrist swivel and hinge, so that's fine. And then here's the next bad thing about the arms, because why stop there? They are not long enough, they're not big enough. The hands barely clear the hips. It's just, it really makes the figure look terrible because it's so disproportionate. It's such a disappointing thing. Let's move on to the torso. It gives you pretty decent range out of the diaphragm joint, so I'm okay with that. I like that. But as you can see, it does have a little bit of the snowman effect in that you can see the delineation between the two parts at the joint. So that's pretty disappointing. Also, weird topic, but we have to talk about it, the boobages. The boobages are just not sculpted accurately. Unless she's got something holding them together from the sides, you can almost not even tell they're there from the silhouette of the figure. And it makes the figure look weird. They're just not sculpted right. I don't know, maybe some of you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but they just look wrong. They're not right, and it throws off the whole look of the figure. Additionally, this top piece of plastic for her upper torso does not match this plastic down here. This is very pearlescent metallic purple. This, almost none of that quality at all. Pretty disappointing. The white belt on here is done well enough. It's fairly glossy looking. I don't know if that's intentional, but otherwise it's clean. It's lined up nicely. For the hips, it's a vertical joint, so it's going to be problematic to pose her. It can be done, but just barely. So don't expect to pose her hips in any way that's effective. I guess actually that one was in backwards, so you can raise it up a little bit more, but it's still going to be that weird kind of, you have to constantly fiddle with it to pose it. Like right now, there you go, we wiggle it around. And then when you try to turn the thigh swivel, it just rotates on the other part. Very poor design. Not sure why they went that route, but they did. So it can be dealt with, but it's not a great design. Just can't rotate the legs because you have to do it up there. You have to hold it and then rotate it, then pose it and wiggle it around. It's just a pain in the ass, and there's really no reason for it. Double jointed knees are fine though, that's okay. This painted spot down here, it's not quite the right green, but it does match well enough, so that's all right. No split joints down here. And then for the ankles, we have a pretty much standard ankle joint, so you can lean it back pretty far. It actually goes all the way, so that's really nice. It goes really far forward, and then you have your ankle rocker. It's pretty crooked, but it's not terrible. So it's just such a pretty not great figure. There's some very few things that are okay on it, some things that are good, but that is it. It's easily the worst of the bunch, which is not bad though because the rest are pretty solid. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day, and we're going to be doing the rest of this 6-pack, so make sure you come back for all of that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, guys, and in the meantime, keep collecting.